big difference, like culturally, between St. Louis and Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just it's in the same state, but it's two totally completely different cities.
Yeah.
And the way that people talk, the way people dress, like everything. So was it the same in
Yeah, exactly that way. And you had different sets. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. But hey, yeah, they, what's called. They just had their like little particular style. They're more subtle about things. You know what I mean. It doesn't stuff that that I would have reacted in a bad manner. It doesn't. They stopped and looked at it. You know what I mean. And oh man, hey, get it this way. Hey, it's better to get some money than no money. You know what I mean?
right?
But then you have people. You know what I mean? That hey, hey, though, it ain't that $5 or that pack of cools that you were supposed to get off visit. I seen a situation where over one pack of cools, man, he's supposed to get some cigarettes off visit, and he's supposed to get this dude one pack. Well, he didn't have the dude's pack, and you know, dude got his pack. You know what I mean? He beat the shit out of him. And hey, listen, he set a particular, hey, and I think he set this dude up for failure. That's the way I think that he really did it, is because hey, he told the dude to have the pack of cigarettes, and this dude's people supposed to come up with somebody else. Well, this dude didn't even get a visit, but he did get up on visit, but something about he couldn't get no cigarettes. Now, I don't know how, but it was all bad for him whenever he came back, just over a pack of cigarettes. And I really think the guy set him up for that, man. I think he set him up for a downfall. And I learned from that, man. You know what I mean? Hey, because you never know. Hey, listen, okay, just for instance, hey, listen, you owe me $5. Hey, I owe that $5 to this guy. And this guy owes $2 of that to this guy. And then, now this guy, the ripple effect, and just how me not being about my word, or you not being about your word, is the ripple effect that you don't know how you affect other people's lives. And some people don't play. Some of the baddest, worst situations that happen in prison over $5. I know it sounds crazy, but it was the principle. It wasn't that $5. It's, hey man, you're supposed to have that on state tip. That's where everybody's got money. Everybody's got $750 or $850. If you got a GED, it's $850. $750 if you don't have a GED. And hey, you know that if you owe somebody $5, they know that you have $5. Even if for some other thing with a child support where you may owe $250, but you still, an inmate will always get $5. But and the guy didn't have the $5, man. Hey, and hey, listen, he got poked. He got the shit beat out of him, man. He got the shit beat out of him. And hey, listen, it was really, hey, because it happened in the chow hall. Everything's, them cops ain't stopping nothing, man. If we want to bang, we're gonna bang, man. You know what I mean? Hey, listen, you ain't gonna stop. I don't care if you mace me or not, man. I'm gonna beat the fuck out of this guy, or this guy's gonna beat the fuck out of me. But them cops don't stop nothing like that there. And hey, listen, man, some people just don't play. That's why. Be about your word on the $5 deal and the $500 deal.
So $5 can get you stopped just like $50 or $100.
Right. Because it's the principle of it. Hey, you think you can do this to me, just like the deal with me and the first guy that I got in a fight with in a joint at MSP, and it was live, man. Hey, it's breakfast time. Hey, dog. Hey, he doesn't have no reason not to have my $15. Well, he didn't have my $15, dog, and I beat him up, man.
So take us through a good day. Like, what would you consider a good day in prison from when you wake up to go to sleep?
Well, whenever I first went in, it'd be wake up, have a joint, if if there was any good dope around, you know what I mean? You know, get old paper or something, you know what I mean? But I never actually was an actual junkie, but I got high, you know, did. But a good day in prison is waking up with some coffee, being able to shit, and go to breakfast, you know, rather eat it or not, you know. Like a lot of times I go there and just give it out, you know. A lot of times I'd eat it because I like butter, you know, but get out and go to the yard after breakfast, work out, walk a little bit. I really wasn't no real big worker out, but I always liked walking, and you know, we had certain people we always walked with, you know, just smoke a joint, lock down for count. That's when everybody usually goes back to their place and they eat the chili and cheese and burritos and some of the food, man, some of the food. But eat something, and then like at the first of my bid anyway, I was going to GED class, but I was bullshitting around in GED, man. I was bullshitting around, fucking with lames, man. Just kicking it and fucking I was always going there blasted, you know, and just don't waste time, man, waste time. But I remember my teacher, man, Mr. James, he says, hey man, when do you want to stop bullshitting and get an education, man? I was like, tomorrow. I came and hey, listen, he held me to it, and I'll tell you what, me and him, we studied and we worked, and I went back to the cell and I worked, man. I got that GED. I only passed by three points. I got a 253. At that time, 250 was passing. But I got a 253. And man, I know I went back over there. My teacher was Mr. James down at Potosi Correctional Center. This is just a regular day in prison, but this is a good day. And then I took the test on a Saturday morning, and man, I studied. I really worked. And I found out like little bitty things like, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. You know, people don't know what that means. Parentheses, exponents, multiplication or division, whichever one comes first, addition, then subtraction. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Hey, I learned that there, and that's how I learned how to do algebra in Potosi Correctional Center. And in 1999 is whenever I graduated. I got my GED. I'll tell you, that's probably one of the most positive things that I've ever did in my life. And what it took is a lot of studying and reading and writing down and, you know, just doing different things. Just like whenever I was serious about my GED, anyway, I found a word that, hey, I knew this book. And this is how bad that I really wanted to prove the teacher wrong whenever I was bullshitting around in the class, is whenever I seen there was apostrophe after the whole word, fathers. And I said, Mr. James, this book's got a mistake, it's got a mistake. I told you this dumb stuff. And he says, Mr. Blount, he says, that shows possession. And I said, what? He said, that's more than one father's. And I think that was the first day that he kind of got to me a little bit, and I think I rebelled on that, you know what I mean? But anyway, the end result was that guy helped me get my GED, man. And hey, I was very, very proud of that. And man, I sent copies of it to all my friends, man, out on the streets, you know what I mean? I made so many copies, I was like giving them out on the yard, you know what I mean? But I was proud of that, man. I got my GED.
Yeah, that's what's up. I got my GED in Job Corps too, just because it was the quickest way to get out of there.
Yeah.
All right, so would you say that your worst day out on the streets is still better than your best day in prison?
Yes. Because I can go shit where I want. I can shit when I want. You know what I mean? Shower, you know what I mean? Just doing the right thing, man. You know, it feels so much better doing the right thing. Uh, you know, and I'm not going to say that I'm a hell of a person or whatever, but I know this here. Hey, listen, I'm not that person that I was so many times. You know, hey, making bad decisions, man, ODing myself, man. Uh, I'm so thankful, man, that I have God in my life today, man. I am so thankful, man. And and it takes work, man. Hey, listen, not every day is a good day, but any day, man, that I can wake up and I can go to bed, hey, and pray in peace and be in peace. And I'm like a simple guy. I don't want no TV at night. I want a fan to make a little bit of noise and I can go to sleep. And yes, I'm so thankful, man, that I'm not in prison anymore, man. Even after the bad mistakes that I've made in my life, you know.
So you say that you told me off camera that you found God when in prison when you went to go steal snacks. So,
Yep. Well, hey, listen, I was at the New Jeff City. Anyway, I was in Housing Unit 5. I was in the ITC program at that time. And they had this program. Anyway, professional football players come in and they would tell how, you know, how Jesus saved them. You know what I mean? How they had their like spiritual awakenings and everything. And man, it was a real good time. And I came in there with my bags, my plastic bags. Anybody knows anything about prison, man, you go to all them banquet things like that and you get all food, man. Hey, it means something a little bit more whenever you can take something back to your cell, man. And hey, you know, hey, give it to your cellies, you know what I mean? Hey, give it to your friends, you know what I mean? Hey, doesn't, you know, kind of put some life in people's, you know. But I didn't steal nothing that day. Nothing. I sat at that table with that guy that could barely write his name, Joe E. Joe E. and a little dot. And man, that was so powerful because that's the day that I got saved, man. And when I say that I got saved, man, hey man, something touched me, man. Something touched me and changed me, man. And hey, from then on, hey, listen, I have not been that person, man. Hey, I don't fight today. I don't fight today. Hey, listen, I go to church today. I help people. I like helping people. I like cutting people's grass, and they don't even know that they got their grass cut. And I just did that yesterday. That's such a wonderful thing, man. But hey, man, it is just powerful, man, how I got saved that day right there at that. And I went back with them same bags, and everybody's like, "Hey, Chris, let me get something, man." And I'm like, I didn't get nothing, dog. And man, hey, after that there, hey, listen, my life has been better. You know, and hey, listen, I read the Bible, I do my meditations, you know. Like right now, I'm devastated. My phone kind of messed up on me, man. Hey, I broke the screen. So I can't like really send meditations because the glass is falling out. But I get one, but that's a good thing whenever I can do a meditation and pass it on to other people and they say, "Man, I like that. That went with my day, man." You know, and that's what that guy did, man. Hey, that guy was an angel, man. That guy was an angel, like off Highway to Heaven, man. Michael Landon. Hey, you know, hey, the guy's an angel, man. I'm so thankful, man, that my life has been changed like that there. And hey, anyway, I was going to church one time right after that. And hey, kind of went to church a little bit every now and then. Anyway, that's where you go up and, you know, kind of meet everybody that you don't see on the other side or whatever, you know. But I started going serious. Anyway, I had my Bible up underneath my arm. Anyway, I'm walking to the chapel. Anyway, my buddy, Dave Rhodes, he's right next to him, and he's like, "Hey, Cross, what you got up underneath your arm? Look like you got a pack of pork steaks." I was like, "No, I ain't got no pork steaks. I got my Bible." He says, "Pull that sword out." I was like, "Sword?" That's the first time a Bible's ever been called a sword. And hey, I pulled my Bible out, my sword, and hey, listen, I didn't never hide it up underneath my arm again, man. And that was a good feeling, man. Because after that, you know, I had the guys mocking me on the fence, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Hey, you know, "Hey, man, you going up to that church house again?" I said, "Yep, that's the man, good stuff happening up in there." And I'll tell you what, good things happen, you kind of get stressed out, every now and then, but hey, I'm just so thankful, man. And, hey, one thing I can tell a person, measure twice, cut once, man. That's advice that I got from old convicts, man. And hey, whenever they first said it, I like, what's he fucking talking about, man? What? I know exactly what he's talking about. Think twice, act once, and hey, listen, hey, man, if you got to think about it more than once, man, there's something wrong with it, though, because there's some question in there. There's something in there that probably ain't healthy for you,
So you was mentioning how y'all be like making all the different foods in prison.
Oh, man, hey, prison pizzas, man. And hey, listen, and now they've got anyway, where they add tuna on. I'm not no tuna. I like summer dogs, refried beans, and cheese and cream of mushroom, everything that you can get. And man, the food would be so good. The burritos, man. Hey, you're gonna have to take a shit the next day though, because you've ate a lot of beans, but really, really good, man, and just like the little soups mix, a little bit of Doritos or Fritos or whatever, you know what I mean? But, you always got cheese, man, And, hey, whenever we eat, man, hey, it don't matter, hey, whoever wants to pitch in, you know what I mean? Hey, and we'll figure it out, because he'll already know how many pieces they're going to get, and he'll cook it on the whole bunk, the whole top of the bunk. So, a lot of times, people may sit on the top bunk so they don't have to bend over down on the bottom, you know what I mean? Hey, and they put a plastic bag all the way over the whole top bunk, Now you got to understand, hey, though, these are clean. Hey, that bunk probably gets wiped down more than his ass. You know what I'm saying? But hey, whenever you make a bunk pizza, man, anyway, at like Crossroads, anyway, we'd cook grilled cheese sandwich, save up bread during the day, butter from the breakfast, and cheese, man, and make hot grilled cheese sandwich at 9 o'clock at night with a couple cold milks that have been in ice all day, and the carton's almost like falling apart because it got so cold. You know what I mean? Hey, I'm talking about, hey, people pump all their ice in there, because we got like, like one person will be in the, like the Walkman or something, he'll have all the milks, so we're going to be able, like back then, we get our chuck holes open and everything, and hey, I'd go from here to the other end of the wing, man, hey, just something heavy on her, and man, like one pair of underwear, the top string around there, that is like 18 miles of string. It is a long string, man. Hey, and you always want to double it up, so it's going to be, you double it up like 3 times, you know what I mean? So, like, hey, if you're going to pass like a bag of wine, you know what I mean? Because they make wine, you know what I mean? Hey, there's nothing different about prison than what it is out here, you know what I mean? Hey, we just got to make the wine a little bit better, a little bit different, you know what I mean? We got to, you got people that make just all orange juice, and then you got the people that make the Paris stuff, and then you got the people that make the wine, and then they boil that through a piece of copper and let that little drip, they want the littlest drip they can get. I mean, just like a little drip. And that's straight moonshine. That is crazy. You make the wine, and then you cook it off, you get it all, and then you put your stinger down in there, and let that boil and boil and boil, and you're gonna try to get all that out of there to be in there. You know what I mean? In these little parade, it's gonna cut down a lot, but hey, that stuff, it's just like bumpy gin.
How long do it take to make it?
A good cook is 7 to 10 days. But now you can cook like tomato wine. You can cook that there a lot faster. You can cook that in 72 hours. Especially if you get a little heat around it. The more hotter the sugar, and because you get the yeast, however you get the yeast. Like back in the day, we made our own bread at Jeff City, so we had pure yeast. That was not nothing there. We made barrels and barrels and buckets, and and I'm not exaggerating at all. We make 55-gallon barrels, and hey, this doesn't, we got to dip the roaches off the top, because the roaches have got down in there, But hey, they don't care. Hey, if they drink a roach, they don't care, because hey. Now you got to understand, Jeff City, you had roaches. One of the best, and this is true stuff. One of the best bug things is a bag of plain chips. After you eat your chips, just take that on the wall, and they're gonna smell that salt and all that shit down in there, and they're gonna crawl down in there, and they can't crawl out. And now I know this sounds crazy, but I've had it before where I've had like a whole row of roaches down in there that can't get out. You know what I mean? Hey, there's no way, unless the bag falls off or something, they're not gonna get out. And that was the best roach trap. Then they come out with the little white dust that you put around the outside of the wall. And now this is Jeff City. This is where the bloodiest 40 acres was, man. And you just move around and just as it's another day. You know what I mean? Guards would get killed, inmates would get killed, guards would kill inmates, choke him out. Man, I seen a Sergeant Dixon, choke that guy out because he had some dope in his mouth, but he choked and killed that man. Dead. Yeah, we got locked down for about 45 minutes on that one. There wasn't nothing really said about that, you know what I mean? Because, hey, listen, the cop did it, just like one of the situations that I seen, they was putting a roof on 4 house, and this is bad. One of the roofers fell off the roof. They was on him like roaches, man. They was on him like roaches. Motherfucker didn't even have no socks on. They took the fucking shoes and socks.
Damn.
Yeah, that was, and that was on a hot summer day. The yard back then, the upper lawn, that's what it was called. And yep, the guy fell off the roof, man. That's just something, and we wasn't even locked down. We wasn't even locked down for it, because the guy didn't,
Yeah. So how many times would you say you saw a guard kill an inmate?
That time right there, that's one of them. But, you just hear about so many other situations where, hey, this guy's in the cell and this guy supposedly did this, but no. Now there was like beating squads. Anyway, you had this cop Bohannon, and man, he was a beast. If you fuck with this cop, man, he was gonna have you beat up some way, man. He was gonna have you beat up, man, hurt.
So that was just a normal thing? Like you just knew not to get out of line with the cops?
Yeah, but hey, listen, most of the time, hey, listen, the cops, cops are cops, man. You had the cops that are gonna come shake down all the time, beat him motherfucking Captain Save a Hole, you know what I mean? But hey, most of the time the cops just, hey, listen, they knew they knew we had weed, they knew we had dope, you know what I mean? Hey, listen. But then you get these cops that, hey, if they hear that you got it, though, they're coming for you, And whenever I say coming for you, it's, serious situation, because you got a goon squad coming at you, you and your celly, But hey, most of the time, like back then, anyway, they would wire the door shut, So the cops are standing there. Hey, the only thing is the holdup is whenever the cops go around in the plumbing chase and shut off then they can, but if most of the time they would just keister the shit anyway, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just cops standing right there at the door, sticking it right up your ass. They ain't caring, you know what I mean? Hey, but you got a coat hanger around the door, ain't gonna open that jail cell.
Yeah. That's crazy, man. So
Yeah, but just another day, man. It was, just like like the time, and I just got there, and this offender killed his cop and stuffed him up underneath the bunk, and now this is a strong situation, but this happened, and man, they locked down and looking, and they even came in the cell. They supposedly came in his cell and passed him up one time. I don't know how they did that, but what it was, somebody wasn't paying attention. The guy's probably a professional jeffer, and he, hey, man, it ain't me, dog. Hey, it ain't me. Hey, I don't do that there. But come to find out, anyway, the guard was found up underneath his bunk, dead, and his cellie was up in the kitchen working. So just a crazy situation, man. But the cop walked up on him, and he was doing something, and I guess he didn't want him to know or tell anybody else. He didn't want to get busted. And
I mean, like, what are you thinking if that's the better choice than just going and take a little more time? And now you're going to probably get a death penalty or something.
yeah, well, back then, that's whenever they just started. If you kill somebody, you're going to get killed. So hey, which being a cop, you know what I mean? I don't know. I never did see him anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But see, like back then, anyway, they had Housing Unit 5C, and hey, listen, you'd be down there. You know what I mean? 25 months. Hey, there was a guy named Bill Heron that was down there 15 years. 15 years, and I met him, man. Hey, look, the guy had mice, and he could send that mice with a note on its back over to this guy. I know it sounds crazy, but them mice would go right to that cell. Any cell, came to my cell with sugar before. Shocked. And,
I mean, when you're sitting in the box for 15 years, you got some thinking to
yeah,
come
you
up
got,
with,
yeah. Hey, listen, what you did, hey, listen, you've accepted that situation, and hey, listen, that's how it is. So, hey, I got to make the best of it. It's just like, hey, you get the guys that are in there, like Hogg. Hey, Hogg was trying everything that he could do to let them people know that, hey, I'm not the guy. And listen, them state of Missouri executed an innocent man, Roy Roberts. They executed him. I was in the wing when he left out, and just like he's left out before, man. Hey, like 2 different times he came back. And it's a powerful thing, man, because you get goosebumps on top of goosebumps because you're talking about a real person. But man, he was brought out of that wing, and he didn't come back that time, And he's innocent. And the guy who did it, he knows he's a dirty, lousy person, man. Hey, because Hogg will take his weight if he's good, and but he doesn't. Hey, listen. The guy's a good guy, man. I would say a career criminal, but hey, listen, he did not do that, and the state of Missouri executed that man. That's terrible, and how they think that doesn't affect me, that affected me very, very much, because Hogg was my friend, and when I say my friend, he was my friend in the wrong, right, or whatever. He was my friend, and man, that affects me, man.
Yeah, that's a crazy moment.
Yeah, that is, man. Hey, yeah, and whenever and then I know other people. Hey, I know a guy that's sitting in Potosi Correctional Center right now, man. He did not do it, man. The courts knows that he didn't do it, but he's got life without parole, and man. The dude's a thorough dude, man. Really, really good person, man. My friend. Hey, and I'm gonna tell you, he's trying to get something to get where the Innocent Projects helps him, but that's the situation where you had Art Margulis and public defender out of St. Louis City. You know, Art Margulis was a good attorney, you know, and the guy that did that, man, hey, listen, you know, he did that, you know, but Ricky didn't do it, and the courts even know. But Ricky was there, so he gets life without parole. But the guy who shoots the guy with a fucking shotgun, he's out on the fucking street today. You know? Thankful, man. But hey, listen, why is my friend still locked up? Hey, and he didn't shoot nobody. He didn't kill nobody. He was there.
And that's the part where people say the system is corrupt, because you got two guys pretty much on the same case, and one gets life without parole and one gets life with parole, but the one that got life with parole did the shooting but got a better lawyer. And that's, this is a corrupt system.
Yeah, hey, the guy that killed the guy, hey, he got life. But the guy that was hanging there with the guy, he got life without.
So it was something that happened in St. Louis recently where a guy did some murders or whatever, and he got life with 10 years. So explain how that works, because some people think that life is just the rest of your life.
No, you can make parole on the life.
Right, and it's not.
You can make parole, but see, that's how the courts messes you around a little bit. Hey, that life could really be up to 30 years. That could be up to 30 years. Hey, and then you'd have to do the 10. In that 10, that's called consecutive. And it's considered wild, you know what I mean? So, hey, you would have to do 30 if they wanted to. You could do 30 on that life, and then they could say, hey, we're going to 85% you on the 10, you know?
So you would have to do another 8 years. And
you have to do another, so 38 years on life and 10. And that's how the parole boards, that's how you're going to be broke down. And it don't matter what you do in prison. But now it does if you get busted with contraband. Like me, I got busted with a syringe. I got 5 years in Potosi. I was in the court with another guy that was a capital punishment. He's on death row. Anyway, Potosi gave him 5 years for a syringe, just like me. And I was freaked out. And the guy's like, they're already killing me, and now they want me to come back for a little bit. You know, they're already killing me. But that's just where that's injustice. You know, hey. Anyway, this guy here, man, he's on death row for a reason, man. You know what I mean? Because he's a crazy guy, man. You know, old white guy. But he don't play no games. You know what I mean? And you can tell he's on like probably every pill in the med line. And the med line, whenever I talk about the old day, anyway, back then they used to give out Ativan, Klonopin, you know, and that's like, you know, so anyway, that was like but now, you know, they've turned it around to where it's Thorazine and Seroquel, and then people actually smell like the medicine because it's so deep in them, especially the Thorazine. You get these guys doing a Thorazine shuffle, but listen, them people ain't stable. If they don't take one of them pills, like if they would sell one of their pills to somebody else or something, listen, them people act all kinds of crazy, man. And it's what's called, that's why a lot of situations go down, because you have, you know, mentally disturbed people that, you know, supposed to be on there, or, you know, taking that medicine, or they need some medicine and they can't get it.
So would you say that people like that should be in more of a mental hospital or a mental institution instead of a prison? Yeah,
and see, they do have one in Fulton. Now, I know that's whenever I first come down, so I know about that place there. I wasn't actually there, but that's where the crazies go. Yes, and man, listen, you have it, because, okay, hey, listen, you just have so many different type cases in prison, man, that, you know, hey, anything. Just like the guy who stole the elephant from the St. Louis Zoo. You know what his nickname is? Zoo Man. That's his nickname, Zoo Man. And hey, listen, he's his own type of person, man, but hey, dog, he's a weirdo, man. I seen, man, hey, the police busted him in the chow hall, standing by the mailbox, looking at this cook, and they didn't know what was going on, but this guy had a string tied from his penis to his toe, and he would tap his toe like that and jack himself off at the mailbox in the morning in chow. They busted him. And they didn't lock us down or anything. Hey, they didn't clean nothing up. They didn't do nothing. They locked him up. And but it just, and then like the people, they make bad decisions. Like there's one guy, anyway, he caused, his old lady wanted to go out drinking. He said, no, you ain't going out drinking, no. So he got in his Ford truck, his old Ford truck. He got that truck going like 80 miles an hour. He said that's about as fast as it'd go. And he broke the levee from St. Louis to Illinois. Yes, and he caused a national catastrophe. They gave him life without parole, causing a national catastrophe because he didn't want his old lady going out drinking. Crazy, man.
So would you say that, have you ever been any guys in prison where you were like, yeah, this dude deserves to be in, like he don't need to be on the streets with regular people?
Oh, yes.
Like he's dangerous or he's just crazy in the head or?
Well, I'm not really going to consider these people dangerous. I consider these people cowards. The Southside rapist. Hey, whenever he showed up, hey.
And that was in like the middle 90s or something,
Yes.
wasn't it?
Dennis Rabbit.
Yeah, middle or late 90s.
Dennis Rabbit. But then, right before I got out, I didn't think they could get any worse than Dennis Rabbit, man. But then I met Michael Devlin.
I was going to ask, that was
Michael Devlin.
I was going to ask about him.
Yeah. And I'm going to tell you, he's a sick person, man. I'm going to tell you, and I'm not really in for like executing or anything like that, man, because but listen, that guy there is sick, and Dennis Rabbit is. And I'm telling you, them guys get beat up every time. They're in what you call PC, protective custody. Anyway, they didn't ask for the protection. They didn't ask because they don't. Hey, Dennis Rabbit will stand on his shit too a little bit. He'll get beat up, But Michael Devlin, he's a piece of shit. He's a lame.
Yeah.
He's a terrible.
I don't see how anybody could have anything good to say about him.
No.
That Michael Devlin, for the people who don't know, is the guy that kidnapped 2 boys in St. Louis,
and had him for years.
Kirkwood, yeah, he had one of them for years, and and the other boy, the second boy he abducted, got away like a day or 2 later.
Mm-hmm.
And
Sean Hornsby.
Yeah, it was Sean and Mike. It was Sean and Ben Owensby or something like that.
Yeah, that was.
That's crazy. Like I remember when that stuff happened.
Yeah.
And you said, what was about him that made him weird, or like, or you just
You can
notice?
just look at him. You can just look at him and hey, listen, he's not all there, man. Hey, and just like Dennis Rabbit, hey, listen, that guy's brain is not even on living, sleeping, breathing, anything. It's on nasty, and the people that he affected was so bad. And just so people knows, hey, convicts beat the shit out of dudes like that. Beat the shit out of them all the time. Them people don't get respect. Don't think that them people got off easy not getting the death penalty, because they get dogged out every day. There is no off day for no sex offender, man. Hey, and that sex offending stuff is just terrible stuff, man. Whenever you're messing with people's kids and abducting them, and You know, there's some sickness there, man. But them people, they have a bad time. They have a bad time because convicts, and see, things have changed so much because people will settle out for money and let this guy be a hang-around or something. But back then with us, hey, it didn't go around like that. We didn't have no sexual predators around us. We didn't associate with people like that. And hey, we didn't respect people like that. You know, hey, if I would respect or say, oh, you was high or whatever, hey, I'm taking away from what you did to, hey, because it is bad whenever you mess with somebody's kids, man, you know, and crawling in people's houses like Dennis Rabbit did up there through that Shaw neighborhood.
Yeah.
Man, hey, ladies were scared to go to sleep, man. That's terrible. You should not have to live in America like that, you know. But hey, listen, as things go by these days here, man.
Yeah, they say he was breaking in the houses first, and then he started to rape the women after he went into, like, I want to say.
And a lot of times he was in there just getting their underwear or stuff out of their drawers.
Right.
You know, hey, that's one thing in prison. Like, anyway, there was other dudes had all his information. They got everything that the law will. You can get a motion for discovery for any type of case, you know, and this is kind of crazy, but whenever I get my paperwork from the courts, I have your social security number. I have, like, if you're a witness against me, your social security number, everything is on there, you know, and now they do a little blackout thing, but they didn't used to black it out like with my case. The people that testified against me, you know, for things that I did wrong, they had my social security. I had their social security number and everything, their phone number, their address. I never did understand that.
So in California, like West Coast, you have to pretty much like show your paperwork when you come into the prison. Was that the same in Missouri? Do you have to show your paperwork, or did you just have to?
Well, if it's a questionable situation, but we all know off the paperwork, the roster that the CO gets daily. Anyway, there's MOSAB, and it'll have a Y or an N. You know, if you got a Y by your name, you got a fucked up shit. You know, and everybody's talking about, I took a leak in the alley and they locked me up, man. They said that I was indecent. Yeah, bullshit. Face Sheet Friday. That's how they do it, you know.
So what's Face Sheet Friday?
You produce your paperwork on Friday. Like if you got a question, if somebody's got a question about your case, man, if you're a chomo and you're trying to hang around these people, or people want this guy as a suspected gang, you know, they're gonna find out everything about him, man. You know, they're gonna find out everything. Dude's gonna get on the phone, talk to his old lady, man. Check this guy out. Oh yeah, he's a piece of shit, got a Y by his name. Then that guy gets beat up, extorted, and you know.
So if you got an N by your name, you good?
Yeah.
So what's the N and the Y represent?
Yes and no. Yes, you're a sex offender. No, you're not.
Oh, okay.
MOSAB, that's Missouri Offender Sex Program.
Oh, okay. So they'll look right there, and that's the first thing they want to check.
Yep, that's the first thing. And you can usually tell somebody, you know. And now, hey, listen, I have known dudes that had, you know, they say the girl was a little younger than what she's supposed to be, but, you know, but it's just, it all boils down to it. You can tell if a person's like that because they'll be into the porn, you know, all Jack books and shit, you know what I mean? Like, whenever I came down, oh man, hey, the Jack book situation, man, you had the best. Fox, you could order right from the company and they'll send you, the motherfuckers still have wet ink on it. I'm just literally saying, because man, hey, it is bad, man, I'm telling you. And man, they'll pass them books around, man, and you know, you make a little bottle with some plastic gloves called a Fifi, man. But hey, but that's where you find out if a person's a sick person, man. You know, he's always jacking off or something, you know what I mean? Or, you know, hey, you know, because they doesn't, you know, dudes get do their own fucking shit, man. You know what I mean? But they ain't always fucking, you know, trying to kill yourself. But you know, you just find the people that, man, you know, have problems with that shit, and then they got a Y by their name, and you know, you don't even want them people to see your photos, man. You know, like I have a picture of my, you know, nieces and nephews, man. You know, because I love my family, though, and you know, hey, certain people, I don't want to see that stuff. You know what I mean? You know.
Yeah, that's wild. So what? So if somebody came in and they were a sex offender, like how does that, like, do they say, okay, well, you get to check in first, or do they just go straight to beating them?
No, what's called now, unless it's a high publicized case like Dennis Rabbit and Michael Devlin, they automatically went to PC. Anyway, it don't matter what they say. They ain't gonna let them come out in population. Fuck, you'll get killed. You know what I mean? They already know that. But you know, they offer everybody, hey, do you need protective custody? Do you have any problem with anybody here at this camp or anything like that there? You know, but you know, you always got, you know, some people scared or whatever, you know what I mean? You have some people that come out from check-in, you know what I mean? But, you know.
Yeah, I remember when I went to county one time, it was, you know, in the county the phones are free or whatever when you're still downstairs.
Yeah.
Right. So I went straight to the phone, and this dude was on the phone, and he was damn near literally crying to his mom, like, yeah, I can't do this, you have to get me out, and all of this shit. And by the time we got upstairs, he went upstairs not too long before me, but we never seen him, like, I never seen him go off. Yeah, so he had to go to PC.
Yeah, or that, or else he said he was gonna kill himself, you know, suicide, you know. Sometimes if a person doesn't match up, like in the, you know, like out there in Clayton, you know, the phones are free out there. But
right,
then, you know, you see the little counselor. But if your stuff don't match up, you know, hey, listen, where they don't think that you're, hey, they have did administrative PCs before that, like that, you know. But most of the time, people check in, you know.
Yeah.
Most of the time, what it is they did some shit, you know, because they, you know, a situation like that, man, like in the county or, you know, like, man, city and county are 100% different. Man, back in the day, whenever I was in the workhouse with Paul Leisure, man. You know, that was the guy, man. You know, he got blown up, man. Hey, for that shit, man. He's a serious guy. I learned a lesson from him right there. Hey, pull your pants up. Pull your pants up. That's what he used to say. Pull your fucking pants up. You know, hey, and he wasn't saying because your pants are hanging down, that's just fucking act like a man, boy. Pull your fucking pants up.
Right.
That's what he used to say all the fucking time, man. But hey, that guy was, you know, people say, oh, he's a dangerous person there. Yeah, if you fuck over the guy, he's gonna fucking kill you. He's gonna fucking blow you up, fucking kill you. You know.
So what did he do? What did he get?
Anyway, that was the guy in with the bombings, with the mafia, whenever they blew up his car.
I was going to ask you about that too. You kind of leading into everything I was going to get into.
Yep.
I was going to actually ask you about that. So you was in jail with that guy?
Yep, I was in jail with him, and I was in jail with Dave Leisure and Anthony Leisure. And I'm going to tell you what, hey, listen, all of them real good. First, I met Paulie. I met him down in the workhouse. I came in B&O. Anyway, I got down there. I was in and out the workhouse, man. But this time here, they put me in B&O, and I was like, man, you know, B&O's old man wing. You know what I mean? Anyway, Paul Leisure was in there, and man, hey, listen, that's when I met him, man. And now you got to understand, you don't just go in and start jeffing with people, man. You know, hey, like him, you know, hey. You know, he can't do nothing to you, you know what I mean? He'd fucking have you killed or fucking something, but he can't actually do anything to you if he just grabbed you with his hands, but like he didn't have no legs. He got blew up, man. Hey, but he was so serious of a person that he got respect, and he didn't even have to fucking ask for it. You know, like just like with the cops down there, man, the cops loved him, man, because they don't want to get fucking blown up. Hey, you know what I mean? They understand that fucking, hey, the wall may get blown out any day here. Cause this guy's serious. This ain't no fucking, fly by night fucking deal. They're blowing themselves up like a motherfucker. But he was a serious person, man. And I seen him got a box of Kentucky Fried Chicken in there, and that's with the bucket. But hey, he told them to stuff the fucking chicken in the bucket. He said he don't care how it looks. He said stuff it in there. So I think there was like actually 4 buckets of chicken in this bucket. That's how much. Hey, he said stuff it. I remember him because he told the guy, and the guy came back next shift with the fucking bucket. Paulie said, stuff it, that's what he said. But like his thing was, man, pull your pants up. And what he was saying, man, act like a fucking man, Fuck, he did this shit. Stop crying on the fucking phone. Get off that phone, Come on, let these other guys use that phone, Hey, he was like that. He was that type of person. And like Dave Leisure, anyway, he was a little good guy, man, good guy. But he was a little mentally challenged, man. He was, you could tell he was a little short on things, but really, really good guy, man. And he jailed just like that, man. Just like down there. We're in Potosi Correctional Center, and we have shit that fucking you would not believe. Sitting there in the wing, waiting on this motherfucker to come in. He comes in, fuck.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that St. Louis had a mob back in.
Yep, and he was respected, man. Even though he was a little slow with his shit, he was respected.